The child's hand closes around my wrist. Don't eat the cake, 3-year-old Lily whispers, her eyes wide and urgent. It's poisoned. I freeze, my hand halfway to stopping Mr. Harrington, who's lifting a silver fork toward the elaborate birthday cake his fiancée just set before him. Chocolate ganache gleaming under crystal chandeliers. 60 candles waiting to be blown out. 200 guests watching from the ballroom. And a toddler who shouldn't know the word poisoned, telling me something impossible. Mr. Harrington's fork touches frosting. Stop. I lunge forward, knocking the plate from his hand. It shatters across marble. Chocolate explodes against white tile. 200 heads turn. Mr. Harrington stares at me, shock freezing his distinguished features. His fiancée, Celeste, beautiful, poised, 20 years younger, gasped dramatically. Grace. Mr. Harrington's voice is dangerously quiet. What are you doing? Behind me, Lily clutches my uniform, trembling. I'm sorry, I breathe. I'm so sorry. But the child, she said what? Celeste's voice cuts like glass. That you've lost her mind. I look down at Lily. Her thumb is in her mouth now. She won't meet anyone's eyes. Tell them, I whisper. Tell them what you told me. But Lily just buries her face in my skirt. And I realize what I've done. 3 weeks earlier, the Harrington penthouse occupies 4 floors in Manhattan's most exclusive tower. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame Central Park. Artwork worth more than I'll make in 10 lifetimes lines hallways. Everything whispers money so old it doesn't need to announce itself. I stand in the marble foyer, my interview suit pressed sharp, my stomach tight with need. I need this job. Need it like air. The estate manager, Miss Patricia, walks me through rooms that echo with wealth. She's 60, impeccable, kind-eyed but assessing. Mr. Harrington's situation is unique, she explains. His late wife passed 2 years ago. Cancer. He's engaged now to Celeste Beaumont. She'll become Mrs. Harrington in 3 months. Congratulations to them, I say carefully. Lily is from his first marriage. She's 3. Doesn't speak much since her mother died. Miss Patricia's voice softens. She needs someone gentle, someone patient. I know about children who've gone quiet. I know about grief that steals words. My daughter Sophie went silent too, in those final weeks. Leukemia doesn't just take life. It takes voice, laughter, everything that makes a child loud and bright and impossible. 2 years since Sophie died. 2 years of jobs that don't fill the hole. 2 years of seeing her in every child's face. I can be patient, I tell Miss Patricia. She opens a door. Lily sits in a window seat, surrounded by toys she's not touching. Dark curls, olive skin, enormous brown eyes. She's small for 3, delicate in the way of children who carry too much. Lily, Miss Patricia says gently, this is Grace. She might be your new friend. Lily looks at me. Really looks, the way children do when they're deciding if you're safe. I kneel, making myself small. Hi, Lily. You have a beautiful view. Nothing. I like your bear. I nod to the stuffed animal beside her. Lily picks up the bear, holds it close, watches me. His name is Mr. Wednesday, she whispers. Because Mommy gave him to me on Wednesday. My heart cracks a little. That's a perfect name. Something shifts in her expression. She slides off the window seat, walks to me, places the bear in my hands. You can hold him, she says. He helps when you're sad. I take the bear carefully. Thank you. We sit together while Ms. Patricia steps into the hall. Lily doesn't talk, but she stays close. Eventually, she takes my hand. That's when I know I'll take this job, regardless of pay, regardless of anything else. Because this child needs someone to notice her. Someone to stay. Someone who understands that grief makes you quiet. I meet Mr. Harrington that evening. James Harrington is 58, silver-haired, distinguished. Built his fortune in pharmaceutical development. The kind of success that gets buildings named after you. Generous with charities, respected in boardrooms, devoted father by all accounts. Grace. His handshake is firm. Patricia speaks highly of you. 8 years of childcare experience. Impeccable references. Thank you, Mr. Harrington. Lily needs consistency. Stability. His voice roughens. Her mother's death was, she hasn't recovered. The therapist says she's processing, but it's been 2 years. Grief has its own timeline. I say quietly. He studies me. You've experienced loss. It's not a question. Yes, I say simply. Then you understand. He glances toward where Lily plays in the next room. I'm marrying again. Celeste is wonderful, patient with Lily, eager to build a family. But Lily's been resistant. That's normal. Is it? He sounds tired. She barely speaks to Celeste. Won't let her do bedtime. Cries when I try to explain that Celeste loves her too. Children need time to trust again after loss. I'm running out of time. The wedding is in 3 months. I need Lily to adjust, to accept, to be happy. The way he says happy breaks my heart. As if grief has a deadline. As if children can be convinced into healing. I'll help however I can, I tell him. What I don't say, you can't rush trust. You can't force acceptance. You can only be present and let the child lead. Well, I don't know yet. Lily isn't resisting without reason. I meet Celeste the next morning. She sweeps into the breakfast room like sunlight, blonde, elegant, 35, and stunning in effortless athleisure. Everything about her screams curated perfection. You must be Grace. Her smile is warm, her handshake confident. I'm so glad you're here. Lily needs feminine energy. Someone nurturing. I'll do my best. James worries too much. She pours coffee with practiced ease. Lily just needs structure. Boundaries. Her mother coddled her terribly. No routine, no discipline. It's no wonder the poor thing is struggling. Something in my chest tightens. Children grieve differently. Of course. Celeste's smile doesn't waver. But grief can't be an excuse forever. At some point, we all have to move forward. She says it kindly, reasonably, with the confidence of someone who's never been hollowed out by loss. I'm planning a birthday party for James next month, she continues. 60 years. A celebration of new beginnings. It'll be good for Lily to see joy again, to understand that life continues. That sounds lovely. I'm thinking you could help Lily prepare. Maybe she could present James with a special gift? Something to make her feel included? Celeste's eyes are earnest. I want her to know she's part of this family, that I'm not replacing her mother, just adding to their story. It sounds perfect. Thoughtful even. But something nags at me. Maybe it's the way Celeste says their story instead of our story. Maybe it's the subtle dismissal of Lily's mother as coddling. Maybe it's nothing. I'll talk to Lily about it. I say. The first week, I learn Lily's rhythms. She wakes early, creeps to her mother's old closet, sits among dresses that still smell faintly of perfume. She doesn't cry, just sits. She eats little. Toast, apple slices, nothing that requires sitting at the formal dining table where Celeste presides over breakfast. She plays quietly, mostly with Mr. Wednesday, having elaborate conversations I'm not meant to hear. She watches Celeste the way you watch something dangerous. Why don't you like Celeste? I ask one afternoon while we color. Lily's hand stops. She's mean to Daddy. Mean how? She yells when I'm sleeping. She says bad words. She breaks things. I set down my crayon. What things? Mommy's pictures. She took them down. Put them in boxes. Lily's voice drops to barely audible. She said Mommy's gone and we have to forget. My chest tightens. Your daddy would never forget your mommy. He might. Celeste makes him different. Children notice things adults miss. They're attuned to shifts in energy, to falseness, to danger wearing a smile. Different how? I ask gently. But Lily just shakes her head, returning to her coloring with fierce concentration. That night, I observed dinner service. Celeste and James at opposite ends of a 12-seat table. Lily picking at chicken, silent. Celeste talking about wedding plans, floral arrangements, honeymoon destinations. James nods, engaged, affectionate. Nothing seems wrong. Except, Lily won't look at either of them. The second week, small things start accumulating. Celeste's phone calls behind closed doors, her voice sharp. The way she grips her wine glass when James mentions his late wife's foundation. The morning I find broken china in the trash, pieces of what Ms. Patricia quietly tells me was James's wedding china from his first marriage. An accident, MS. Patricia says, but her eyes say otherwise. I watch more carefully. I notice how Celeste's warmth evaporates when James isn't in the room. How she speaks to staff with barely concealed impatience. How she redirects every conversation about Lily's needs back to wedding preparations. She's marrying him for money. Ms. Patricia says one evening, her guard finally down. I've been with this family 20 years. I know gold diggers. But Mr. Harrington won't hear it. He's lonely. He wants to believe in love again. That doesn't make her dangerous, I say. No, Ms. Patricia agrees. But it doesn't make her safe either. That's when Lily starts saying strange things. Celeste puts something in Daddy's coffee. She tells me one morning. Like what, sweetheart? White powder. From a bottle in her room. Maybe it was sugar. Maybe. Lily doesn't sound convinced. Another day, Celeste talks to a man when daddy's at work. They laugh about money. Lots of people talk about money, Lily. But I start paying attention. I notice Celeste on her laptop, closing screens quickly when anyone approaches. I notice unfamiliar men in expensive suits visiting for wedding consultations. I notice James looking tired, complaining of headaches, sleeping more. I tell myself I'm paranoid, that I'm projecting Sophie's loss onto Lily's situation, that I'm seeing patterns that don't exist. Until the day before the party, until Lily and I walk past Celeste's study and hear her voice, low and venomous. 3 more weeks. Then the bastard signs the new will and we're set. After the wedding, 6 months, maybe a year, then the real plan starts. Lily's hand finds mine, squeezing tight. We keep walking, my heart hammering. That's when I decide. Whatever's happening, whatever I think I'm seeing, I need to know for sure. Before the birthday party. Before James cuts that cake. The morning of James's birthday party, I arrive early. The penthouse is transformed. Ice sculptures, champagne fountains, floral arrangements that cost more than my monthly salary. Caterers swarm the kitchen. A string quartet sets up in the ballroom. And on the marble counter sits the cake. For tiers of chocolate perfection, decorated with edible gold leaf. 60 hand-sculpted candles. A sugar plaque reading, "To New Beginnings." Celeste stands beside it, radiant in a cream cocktail dress. She's arranging the candles with meticulous care, her expression distant, calculating. I watch from the doorway, holding Lily's hand. Isn't it stunning? Celeste asks without turning. Custom made. Chocolate hazelnut, James's favorite. It's beautiful, I say. She glances back, her smile bright. Lily, darling, would you like to help me with the final touches? Lily presses against my leg, shakes her head. Still shy? Celeste's voice stays light, but something flickers in her eyes. Well, Grace can help instead. I need someone to will it out when I give the signal. Of course. Celeste leaves, trailing perfume and purpose. Lily tugs my sleeve. Don't touch it. The cake? Sweetie, I have to, please. Her eyes are enormous. Something's wrong with it. How do you know? I heard her. Last night. Talking on the phone. Lily's voice drops to a whisper. She said the cake will take care of everything. She said he won't even taste it. My blood goes cold. Lily, are you absolutely sure? She nods, solemn as a judge. I kneel, taking her shoulders. This is very important. What exactly did you hear? I couldn't sleep. I got scared. I went to find Daddy, but I heard Celeste in her room. She was saying Daddy would eat the cake and get sick. Very sick. And then she'd have all his money. Children mishear things. Misunderstand conversations. Their imaginations fill gaps with monsters. But children also notice what adults miss. Stay with Miss Patricia, I tell Lily. Don't let anyone see you upset. Can you do that? She nods, clutching Mr. Wednesday. I find Miss Patricia arranging place settings. Pull her aside, voice low. I need you to watch Lily. Don't let her near Celeste. And don't let anyone give her anything to eat or drink. Brace, please. Trust me. Miss Patricia's seen enough in 20 years. She doesn't argue. I return to the kitchen. The cake sits alone now, perfect and ominous. I could be crazy. Could be letting a grieving child's fears infect my judgment. Could be about to destroy my career and reputation over nothing. But I remember Sophie's hospital. The doctors who said she was fine when she wasn't. The times I questioned and was dismissed. The moment I learned that trusting authority over instinct can cost everything. I photographed the cake from every angle. I searched for obvious signs, discoloration, strange smells, anything. Nothing. I consider taking a sample for testing, but testing takes time. The party starts in 3 hours. I pace the kitchen, mind racing. I could confront Celeste. Tell James. Call the police. With what evidence? A 3-year-old's hearsay? My suspicions? But if I do nothing and Lily's right, the caterer enters, interrupting my spiral. You need something? No, just admiring the craftsmanship. She smiles. Ms. Beaumont special ordered it from that exclusive bakery downtown. Had it delivered at dawn. Insisted on handling final assembly herself. A pause. Unusual, but she's the bride. They get particular. Delivered at dawn. Final assembly herself. Did she add anything to it? Extra layers, decorations? Not that I saw, but I'd been setting up the buffet. She was alone with it for maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Plenty of time. I thanked the caterer, mind clicking through options. If the cake is poisoned, it's in the assembly, something added to the ganache or between layers. Something tasteless, fast-acting. Something that would look like a heart attack or stroke in a 58-year-old man. I think of James's recent headaches. His fatigue. Classic. Signs of certain poisons administered over time in low doses, building up to a final, lethal amount. I pull out my phone. Search symptoms. Find antifreeze poisoning, sweet, hard to detect, mimics other conditions. Find oleander, arsenic, insulin overdoses in non-diabetics. Any could be disguised in rich chocolate. I'm photographing my research when Celeste returns. Oh, she startles, hand to chest. Grace, you're still here. Just double-checking everything's ready. How conscientious. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Actually, I prefer if you focused on keeping Lily presentable. This is James's day. I don't want her making a scene. She's not prone to scenes. Grief makes children unpredictable. Celeste moves to the cake, trailing one finger along the counter beside it. I need everything perfect. This party is important. James's colleagues, board members, potential investors, everyone who matters will be here. And after the party, we have a wedding to finalize. And then, she turns, backlit by the window, her expression unreadable. Then James and I begin our real life together. The way she says real life sends ice down my spine. The party begins at noon. 200 guests fill the penthouse. Politicians, CEOs, socialites. James holds court, gracious and energized, Celeste radiant at his side. I keep Lily close, watching everything. Watching Celeste guide James through the crowd, her hand possessive on his arm. Watching her check her phone repeatedly. Watching her glance toward the kitchen where the cake waits. She's excited. Miss Patricia murmurs beside me. Almost giddy. We're nervous. About what? I don't answer. At 2 o'clock, Celeste taps her champagne glass. The quartet falls silent. Everyone. Her voice carries, warm and bright. Thank you for celebrating my incredible fiancé. James, you've been my miracle, patient, generous, loving. You've given me more than I ever dreamed possible. She's good, sincere sounding, emotional in all the right places. I wanted to do something special for your 60th birthday. Something that represents new beginnings, sweetness, the beautiful life ahead. Staff will out the cake. James's face lights up. Celeste, it's magnificent. Only the best for you, darling. She hands him the cake knife, positioning him perfectly. Make a wish. He closes his eyes. The crowd falls silent, anticipatory. I watch Celeste's face. Watch excitement flicker across it. Watch her lean forward, eager. James opens his eyes. Cuts the first slice. Chocolate layers gleam. Let me serve you. Celeste says quickly, too quickly. She plates the slice, adds a fork, presents it with a flourish. James lifts the fork. That's when Lily breaks free from my hand and runs forward. That's when everything I've suspected crystallizes into terrible certainty. That's when she grabs my wrist and whispers words that change everything. Now I'm standing in a ballroom full of stunned guests, chocolate smeared across marble, a child trembling behind me, and Celeste's face transforming from shock to fury. You psychotic woman. Celeste shrieks. You've assaulted Mr. Harrington. You've destroyed private property. Grace. James stands slowly, his voice dangerously quiet. Explain yourself. Now. 200 people watch. Waiting. I could apologize. Could claim temporary insanity. Could salvage this somehow. Or I could trust the voice that says something's terribly wrong. The voice that stayed silent once before, to my everlasting regret. Lily said the cake is poisoned. I say clearly. Gasps ripple through the crowd. That's ridiculous. Celeste snaps. She's 3. She's traumatized. She doesn't know what she's saying. She heard you on the phone last night. I continue, keeping my voice steady. Talking about the cake, taking care of everything. About James getting sick. About money. I said no such thing. James, this woman is delusional. She needs to be removed immediately. But James doesn't call security. He's looking at me with an expression I can't quite read. These are serious accusations, Grace. I know, sir. Based on the word of a 3-year-old. And on the fact that you've been tired lately. Headaches. Sleeping more. Symptoms consistent with chronic low-dose poisoning. Celeste laughs. Hi, sharp. Now she's a doctor? James, please. I'm not a doctor, I agree. But I'm someone who notices things. Like unmarked bottles in Celeste's bathroom. Like unfamiliar men visiting for wedding consultations. Like staff whispering about broken heirlooms and missing photographs. Circumstantial nonsense. Celeste turns to the crowd. This is what happens when you hire help without proper psychiatric screening. She's projecting her own trauma. Then prove me wrong. I interrupt. Test the cake. Silence falls, thick and electric. James looks at Celeste. That's reasonable, isn't it? If the cake is fine, we clear this up immediately. I'm not subjecting my artisan cake to test it, James says. His voice has gone cold. Now, Celeste's face pales. James, you can't seriously. Either we test it, or I'm calling the police to test it. Your choice. The crowd murmurs. Phones appear, recording everything. Celeste's composure cracks. You'd believe a maid and a confused child over your fiancé? I'd believe evidence, James says quietly, which you seem very reluctant to provide. Fine. Celeste grabs the ruined cake plate from the floor. You want evidence? I'll eat it myself. She raises the chocolate-smeared china toward her mouth. No. Lily screams. Everyone freezes. Lily steps forward, small and brave, her voice clear. She's lying. She told the phone man she had insurance. That if the police came, she'd say the maid did it. That nobody believes maids. My heart stops. Because that's not something a 3-year-old would invent. That's specific. That's real. James stares at his daughter. Then at Celeste. Then at the cake on the floor. Security, he calls. Secure the cake. Call the police. Nobody leaves. James, Celeste starts. Don't. His voice breaks. Don't say another word. The police arrive in minutes. They separate us, James with detectives, Celeste screaming about lawsuits, me in a side room with Lily, giving statements. Tell them exactly what you heard. I encourage gently. Every word you remember. Lily, exhausted and scared but certain, recounts 3 nights of eavesdropping. Celeste's phone calls. Talk of money, timelines, wills. The strange men who weren't wedding planners. The bottle of white powder moved from Celeste's bathroom to the kitchen on party day. I was scared, Lily whispers. But Mommy told me to be brave. Your mommy? In dreams. She said to tell you. That you'd know what to do. Tears slide down her face. Did I do good? I pull her close. You did so good, sweetheart. So good. We wait while they test the cake. We wait while they search Celeste's rooms, her phone, her laptop. We wait while the truth slowly, inevitably surfaces. Miss Patricia brings tea, sits with us, says nothing, but her presence steadies me. 3 hours later, a detective enters. The cake tested positive for oleander extract, she says. Enough to cause cardiac arrest in an adult male within hours. We also found Ms. Beaumont's communications with a boyfriend discussing Mr. Harrington's revised will, which names her primary beneficiary. There's evidence of previous poisoning attempts, small doses in Mr. Harrington's coffee over the past month. My legs go weak. You saved his life, the detective continues. Both of you. If he'd eaten that cake. She doesn't finish. She doesn't need to. Ms. Beaumont is being charged with attempted murder. You'll need to testify, but for now, Mr. Harrington would like to see you both. We find James in his study, looking older somehow. Shaken. He kneels when he sees Lily, opening his arms. She runs to him, sobbing. He holds her like she's everything. I'm sorry, he chokes out. I'm so sorry I didn't listen. I'm sorry I didn't see. You were lonely. I say quietly. Grief makes us vulnerable. He looks at me over Lily's head, his eyes red. How did you know? How did you trust her? Because she's your daughter. Because children see what adults miss. Because. I pause, choosing words carefully. Because I didn't listen to myself once before. And I lost someone I loved. I wasn't going to make that mistake again. James nods slowly. Your daughter. Sophie. She was 7. I'm sorry. We sit in silence. 3 people bound by loss and survival and the strange grace of second chances. I'd like you to stay, James says finally. Not just as Lily's caregiver. As family. You saved us. Both of us. I just asked questions. Questions nobody else was brave enough to ask. He strokes Lily's hair. That's worth more than you know. The trial takes 7 months. 7 months of testimony, evidence, media circus. Celeste Beaumont's boyfriend turns on her to cut a deal. Reveals 2 years of planning, manipulation, attempted poisoning. Reveals she'd done this before, to an elderly man in Boston. Got away with it. Would have gotten away with it this time too. If a 3-year-old hadn't been brave enough to speak. If a maid hadn't been brave enough to listen. The jury deliberates for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. Celeste gets 30 years. I'm there when they read the verdict. I watch her face, still beautiful, still composed, still somehow certain that charm and looks should save her. They don't. James sits beside me, holding Lily. When it's over, he squeezes my hand. Thank you, he whispers, for seeing what I couldn't. Lily blooms in the months after. Slowly, carefully, like a flower given proper light. She talks more, laughs more, still has nightmares, still clings to Mr. Wednesday, but she's healing. Grace, she asks one evening during our bedtime routine. Why did Celeste want to hurt Daddy? I choose my words carefully. Some people see others as things to use instead of people to love. That's sad. It is. But you don't see us that way. No, sweetheart. Never. She hugs me tightly. Mommy was right about you. What do you mean? In my dream. She said you'd keep us safe. Because you understand. My throat tightens. Understand what? That love means noticing. Means paying attention. Means speaking up even when it's scary. From the mouths of children. Truth that adults forget. James asked me to dinner one evening, 6 months after the trial. We sit in his study. Less formal than the dining room, more honest somehow. Miss Patricia serves pasta she made herself, knowing we need comfort food, not showpieces. I'm closing the foundation, James says. I look up, startled. Your wife's cancer research foundation? Redirecting it. He sets down his fork. After everything that happened, I've been thinking about who we overlook, who we dismiss, who we trust blindly, and who we interrogate. I don't follow. You saved my life because you listened to my daughter when every instinct of class and propriety said not to. Because you trusted your own observations over my authority. He pauses. How many others don't speak up? Don't question? Stay silent because they're just the help? Too many, I say quietly. So I'm starting something new. A foundation that investigates suspected abuse in wealthy households. That takes seriously the observations of staff, children, anyone typically dismissed. That funds legal protection for whistleblowers. He looks at me steadily. I want you to run it. My breath catches. James, I'm not qualified. You're the most qualified person I know. You saw what doctors, lawyers, and business associates all missed. You risked everything despite having every reason to stay silent. He slides papers across the table. You know what it costs to speak up. You know how to listen. That's what matters. I look at the foundation proposal. At the mission statement about believing the overlooked. At my name listed as director. You're serious. Completely. Full salary, staff, resources. You build it however you see fit. You help the people who need someone to finally believe them. I think of Sophie. Of the times I questioned her care and was dismissed. Of the confidence of doctors that steamrolled my mother's intuition. I think of Lily whispering warnings that saved her father's life. I think of every person who notices something wrong but stays silent, afraid of being wrong, afraid of consequences, afraid of being just another voice easily dismissed. Yes, I say, I'll do it. James smiles, genuine warmth replacing the grief that's haunted him. Good. Because we need you. More than you know. The Lily Harrington Foundation for Household Safety launches quietly. No press releases. No galas. Just a phone number, a website, a promise. We believe you. The first week, we receive 47 calls. Nannies. Reporting suspected abuse. Housekeepers noticing financial manipulation. Caregivers documenting medical neglect. All of them scared. All of them certain they'll be dismissed, sued, destroyed if they speak up. We investigate each claim carefully. We protect our sources. We partner with lawyers who take cases pro bono. We document. We verify. We act. We save 3 children in the first month. Expose 2 cases of elder financial abuse. Connect 1 woman with resources to escape domestic violence. Small victories. Not enough. Never enough. But something. You're changing lives, Miss Patricia tells me, visiting the foundation office with lunch. We're asking questions, I correct. That's all. That's everything, she insists. Maybe she's right. Lily starts kindergarten in the fall. She's still small for her age, Still carries Mr. Wednesday everywhere. Still has hard days where the grief hits fresh. But she also makes friends. Participates in show and tell. Raises her hand in class. I told everyone about how we caught the bad guy. She announces proudly one evening. James and I exchange glances. What did you say exactly? I ask carefully. That I listened when something felt wrong. That I told you. That speaking up is brave. She pauses, considering. Teacher said I'm a hero. Am I? You're brave, James tells her. Heroes are just people brave enough to speak up when others stay silent. Like Grace. Like Grace. He agrees, meeting my eyes with understanding. We're not heroes. We're just people who decided silence costs too much. On the anniversary of the day that almost destroyed everything, I visit Sophie's grave. I bring flowers. Sit in autumn sunshine. Talk to the sky the way I always do. I met a little girl who reminded me of you, I tell her. Same fierce heart. Same ability to see truth when adults lie to themselves. The wind rustles leaves. I saved her, Sophie. Or she saved me. Probably both. I trace her name on the headstone. I couldn't save you, but I'm saving others. Using what you taught me, that noticing matters. That questions deserve answers. That small voices shouldn't be dismissed. Tears come, like they always do. But they're different now. Not just grief, also purpose. I think you'd be proud, I whisper. The foundation grows. We expand to 3 cities. Hire investigators, lawyers, counselors. Create safe houses for staff escaping dangerous situations. Partner with labor organizations, legal aid clinics, child protective services. We're featured in articles about household safety. Invited to speak at conferences. Asked to train law enforcement on recognizing when just the help might be the most reliable witness. But the work that matters most happens in phone calls. I think something's wrong, but I'm scared to say anything. What if I'm overreacting? Who's going to believe me? We believe you. Tell us everything. We'll investigate. We'll protect you. Over and over. Day after day. Because everyone deserves to be heard. James and I become friends. Real friends. Built on shared trauma and mutual respect. He still grieves his first wife. Still navigates single fatherhood. Still carries guilt about Celeste, about his blindness, about almost dying in front of his daughter. I should have seen it. He says one evening when Lily's asleep and we're sharing wine in his study. You saw what she wanted you to see. I counter. She was expert at manipulation. And you saw through it. I suspected. There's a difference. But you trusted your suspicion enough to act. He refills my glass. Most people don't. They doubt themselves. Convince themselves they're wrong. Stay quiet. I stayed quiet once. My voice catches. With,